Welcome back to the Movie A Day podcast, the one and only podcast that reviews a different film each and every day. My name is Grant, and I'm your host for this podcast. With me, as always, to dive into the world of cinema, we have Sky.
Hello, my children.
And Ryan.
Ignore him, children.
Alrighty. So, it's late.
Yeah, it's really late.
It's actually early, but
We need sleep.
So we mutually agreed to watch this hour and 25-minute film on Amazon Prime called Nancy, directed by Christina Cho, starring Andrea Riseborough, Steve Buscemi, and Ann Dowd, about a woman who becomes increasingly convinced that she was kidnapped as a child. So, let's go ahead with initial thoughts, starting with you, Sky.
yeah. So this film was it's an interesting premise that I guess I would say I couldn't fully connect to, because to me there's just a lot of like conveniences, and I guess they didn't get the character like motivations set out there for me to like, I guess, buy what every character was doing. The acting was pretty good. There's like one or two scenes where I thought it was like a little weird, but pretty much the acting's, I would say, pretty good. But yeah, I like nothing like impressed me and nothing like, I guess, offended me. So this is one of those that like I'm honestly, I'm like, if you're into like a slower like drama, like, I mean, it's really not a mystery. I don't know. Like they make it seem like it, I guess, like kind of open ended. But yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't recommend it. But at the same point, like if you are into like slow dramas, I wouldn't hate you if you watched it. So I guess I'll just say I'm not recommending it. I'll leave it at that. Not a recommendation. What about you, Ryan?
So, yeah, this is definitely a slow burner, for sure. There was a lot of plot holes in the story, I felt like. Like, there's just a lot of mystery involved where, like, you don't really get anything explained. And it's not even like that I don't think the film was trying to do it on purpose either. I think they just left a lot to be discovered, I guess, and it was just, it's too short. I feel like it should be longer and to explain more. But aside from the plot, the acting was overall pretty good, except for, like Sky said, a couple instances. Yeah. The music was kind of cookie cutter, sad music, drama music. So it wasn't like, I don't mind it either. It's good music to me, I guess. I enjoy it, but yeah, it's a movie that if you like slow movies, check it out. If you don't check it out. I guess my recommendation is kind of 50-50, honestly. I really don't know if I would recommend it, or because it just kind of depends on the person you are, but I would say, yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to check it out, our audience. So,
Yeah, I would definitely say for a recommendation for me, I just right off the bat would be like, if you have like an hour and a half on a rainy day to kill, then yeah, maybe. But it's very average run of the mill movie. Nothing too crazy going on. I don't know. I feel like there's a few different ways that you could perceive where they wanted to go with this character, but they never really like give you anything concrete to latch onto. So you're kind of just wondering like what this character's motivations are and why these characters are feeling this. and then they aren't. It's just really weird to watch in that regard. But for the most part, the acting was pretty good, especially from the lead. Everything else is competently done. It's shot well. Yeah, the soundtrack is very average, very forgettable, very cliched. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely lean more towards not watching this unless you have nothing else. Like, there's plenty of other better movies out there. But I think we can get into spoilers.
Let's do it.
Spoiler time. So, I would say like starting like right off the bat, like what did you guys think of like how the movie kind of opened up like with the relationship between, I guess, her real mother or the mother that kidnapped her. I'm still kind of unsure about that one.
I'm not
Well-
really sure because the plot synopsis on IMDb says she becomes increasingly convinced that she got kidnapped.
Well, she
Yeah.
wasn't kidnapped. She wasn't. Just based on the phone call
Yeah.
and that stuff. Like the movie, again, Grant, like what you were saying, the movie tries to like it doesn't
Yeah,
commit to any of these routes, but like I wish it would have, because that's my biggest complaint with it is like I
Yeah,
guess
exactly.
I couldn't connect.
That's
to
what I
anyone.
was saying about like the plot that had a lot of holes in the plot because like it just never got filled in. Like the story never took a turn.
Because the plot synopsis says she becomes increasingly convinced she's kidnapped, but I never really got that. She kind of had to say that to like get in with that family.
Well,
But,
I
like,
guess what they're saying with that then, when she goes out in the woods and she sees the old treehouse, that plot synopsis would tell me that like she actually kind of believes it. But the movie doesn't, like the way she acts, like I would agree with you, Grant. Like her acting is like very good. She does like these little twitches and stuff, but it seems like super manipulative in a way.
yeah,
It's like at the beginning, and then towards the
Especially-
end it seems like she's like, oh, like this could really be a thing, which doesn't really work for me.
yeah, especially how she manipulates. What's the guy's name? In the beginning of the movie.
Oh, John Lithgow's character.
Jeb.
Yeah.
Jeb.
Jeb.
Yeah.
John Lithgow.
That's the actor.
John Leguizamo, whatever
Oh,
his
okay.
name is. He's in a lot of movies. Yeah, sorry, it's 4:15 a.m.
It's okay. Yeah,
But yeah, it kind of made it seem like she was the more manipulative type, but then kind of 2/3 of the way through, it didn't seem like that. It almost kind of seemed like a thing where, like, and the movie doesn't really go for this either, but it kind of does. It's like one of those things where, like, she's just on her phone and, like, on all this technology and stuff, and she's kind of seeking, like, a real experience, a real relationship. And she, like, gets it kind of with that family, but then, like, it doesn't turn out to be her, and then she just kind of goes back. But, like,
Well,
even
that's
then-
that's what's confusing, right? Because the message is what the whole message of the whole movie I took was like what the mom says, like explaining the movie, where she's like, you got to be happy with what you got. But then the main character doesn't, and she leaves. Unless like they're saying like, oh, just be happy on your own with your cat. But like, that doesn't relate with this family. I don't know. Like, does
Yeah.
that make sense? Or I don't...
honestly, not a whole lot in this movie makes sense.
yeah.
And like you said too, a lot of like conveniences like that technology of like what she would look like at that
Oh my
age
god.
is-
Yeah, that
So,
was
yeah,
that was
she's-
way too convenient.
So the reason she finds out about this family in the first place that like has the kid that's missing is she's just randomly watching the news, I guess. And then that comes on
Yeah, shortly after her mother passes
shortly
away.
after her mom dies. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just watching the news.
And then there's like, oh, by the way, this is what she would look like at age 35, did they say?
Yep, 35.
They literally just showed a picture of her, essentially with like different colored hair.
yeah, like that's like the poster of the movie. Like if you're looking up the poster of the movie, like that isn't actually the character in the film. Like that is like a portrayal of like a forensics team saying like this is what the missing daughter would look like. and like it's the same actress. Like
Yeah.
you think they would have made it like a little different, like just because the hair color's different, that doesn't
Yeah.
mean
When
anything.
in the same year, you have a movie where you have Tilda Swinton playing like a 90-something-year-old man, and it looks completely authentic. Like you can do a little better than that.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I don't know what the budget of this movie was. I'm sure it wasn't high, but still, like, you could do something. Like, honestly, just like an actual drawing would be like,
Yeah, like a little
more
sketch.
believable. Yeah,
Yeah, that
than
would've been
like
fine.
a full colored picture that looks exactly like her.
Yeah, I would have took that. But I mean, it still wouldn't have taken away from like the convenience of it all. But
Yeah, there's definitely some other conveniences too.
Well, with Steve Buscemi starting to like her at the end didn't work for me like at all.
Yeah, because I know, and I knew they would have this scene too. The scene of like them looking side by side at the pictures.
Yeah,
yeah,
And
that
and then the squinty-eyed look at the other picture. It's like
that was kind of a cop out, like for Steve Buscemi to like Nancy, and that didn't do it for me. I don't know. Because I feel like, like Steve Buscemi's character, and when we first got introduced to him, I was like, oh, he's going to be kind of a hard ass, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to be the skeptical one, because he's a psychiatrist, and he's probably had a lot of experience with patients, and when she comes along, and she's trying to convince, and, like, the mother is, like, still, like, in shock, that it's such a lookalike, that Steve Buscemi doesn't buy it, and I think they should have kind of kept that going like throughout the movie, the rest of it. I think like Steve Buscemi should have been the character that never caves, because I mean, why would he?
well, again, I think that's where like the movie just was like, all right, we got to end, make it all wrap up.
Yeah, and which is why I think it should have been longer, but
I would agree.
Yeah.
again, could be a budget issue, I don't know.
And then they're trying to fill their runtime with random scenes with that random scene with the hunters.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
what are
that
the
was-
odds of that?
That was, yeah,
Because that was the scene that made the mom be like, you are gonna be my daughter, and she grabs her hand after that. Because right before that scene, she calls her Brooke.
yep.
Like right after she gets the phone call, she calls
Yep.
her Brooke, which isn't her name. What's her name? Nancy. Yeah, obviously. Her
Yeah,
name is Nancy.
yep.
Yeah, and then a random hunter shoots like his little brother right by them in the woods, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Conveniently, like 100 yards away.
Yeah, and only in
another
the leg.
convenience. Another convenience.
Yeah, like in the leg, like not like a kill shot or anything. Like
Yeah,
in
oh,
the
no.
leg.
can't go
And then
too
she
dark.
perfectly. Which again, do they explain why she's able to like know? I mean, granted, I guess it's not like ridiculous, like rocket science. Like you just like tie it, but
Yeah, you
like,
just tie it.
but still, like she was like in the situation, like be calm, be calm. Like she's like totally different, and the mom was like, you know what, like you're a good person.
And those two kids didn't have phones either.
Oh god, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
They had to run all the way over there just to like.
Yeah,
Find a
you
phone.
go hunting without your cell phone.
Yeah, people always take pictures of like the stuff they
Of their
kill.
kills.
Yeah,
Their kills.
especially-
I mean, just for emergencies.
Especially
I'd take my phone.
that and, like the kids or like the teenagers or however old they are. They always have their phones.
I
Yeah,
would
that's-
agree.
Dumb.
And you guys are 3 hunters, and you're not wearing any form of high visibility clothing. Like,
Wait, there were 3, or was it just?
Well,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
No,
there's 3.
I thought there was
I
3.
thought it was
weren't
just
there?
2.
Yeah, I thought it was just 2. 'Cause I
Oh,
thought it was
well, if it was either way, they weren't wearing any high visibility clothing.
believes that kid. That kid
Like,
shot in the leg, just lying there.
You
on
take
the-
hunter safety
out
for a
in the middle of
reason.
nowhere to like go look for someone with the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. That whole scene was just kind of weird. Didn't really do it for me.
I will say, like, the concept of like the mother's character of like denying the truth. I guess this doesn't completely reflect another film, but it like that concept reminded me of Blade Runner 2049, where like well, I guess spoilers for that film if you're gonna watch that film, spoilers. But like Ryan Gosling thinks he is the guy, right? And then he finds out he isn't Harrison Ford's son. But at the very end, he's still helping him. And Harrison Ford, they just have one line of like, Harrison Ford's like, "Who am I to you? Why are you helping me?" And he doesn't even, I don't even think he gives him a response. But you can just tell, like in that one scene, that you're like, he thought at once that this guy was his dad, and there's like this emotional connection that you feel in the film. Whereas like in this, again, like I didn't feel like like there should have been a scene like that where like the mom is like, you know what, instead of like being like the stereotypical like explaining what the movie's about, like we just gotta accept like what we got. Like she should have had like some like kind of like heartfelt moment, I guess, with the girl or something, where like I mean I don't know how you would do it, but even if she like came down and she's like, "Can you guys gather around?" Like, and like had like Steve Buscemi come around. I mean, this would still be cheesy, but like something even to the fact of like her being like, "I got the call and like she's our kid," or like something. I mean, you have to do it more subtle than that even, but like something to like put some more like subtlety and like gravitas, I guess, to that, because like that dynamic is like not in this film. With the whole, like you were saying, Ryan, the whole like hunter scene, like that just like they force that down your throat.
Yeah. There is one other scene too that really annoyed me, like at the beginning, where Nancy called the mom of the girl that went missing. And
Yeah, I
like,
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying to watch.
She just kept being like, "Oh, whatever you're selling, I'm not buying." She'd hang up, call back. "Oh, I have some information about your daughter." It's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know," and just super skeptical and like hangs up again. It's like, I don't know, if I had a missing kid and someone said they had information about her, like I'd want to fucking listen. That'd just be me though.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I guess like you could argue that like I think they said like they've been missing for over 20 some years, or no, over
Like
that, because
30
it's
for 30 years.
yeah,
And I
30
could see
years.
maybe like,
And 20 years ago, they did have a false report. They did say that, right? So
yeah,
like,
but like after that long of time passes,
I would
like,
agree.
some random person would call you just to like troll you and be like, "Oh, you got information? Just kidding."
Yeah, you think they would have put a line in there being like, "I'm not like listening to any more of you trolls." Or, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
But like they made it seem like, yeah, they don't get calls a lot. They're just like a quiet family in the woods.
So what did
Yeah.
you guys think of how the movie ended? With her driving away, and she kind of like smiles at the end. But that
I
could have
really
been one
don't
of
know
her
this movie,
twitches.
because you kind of just have to like get into the mindset of the character to know like why they're thinking and feeling that way. And I guess we should say too that like it is heavily implied that she is not their daughter. Because
Well, I would say I don't like. I'm like 99.9% sure she is not their daughter.
Oh yeah.
yeah, because like
100%.
the mom gets the call, and Scott, you called
I'm
us too,
100%.
that like the mom would know, but like it isn't disclosed to everyone else.
Yeah,
And like the mom is like crying and like
Yeah, she wouldn't react.
It's
Like
very heavily
that's not
implied.
even tears of joy, if you will. Like when she gets the call, it's not tears of joy. It's like she's genuinely sad. So
well, that's
obviously it's
because
not good
she's
news.
not. She found out it's not her daughter. I think that's why
Exactly,
she
and
was
that's
sad.
that's what
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Like that's evidence right there that
Yeah, we
It's
can
not her
say
daughter.
it with 99.9% certainty that she's not the daughter.
Yeah.
And Nancy was there to like witness that. So like, and she leaves, but then she like smiles and like she's crying as she goes away. And I don't know, the movie again like
yeah,
never
that's
really
that's
gave
what
me
got
anything.
me. It's like why? Like she's like crying and smiling while driving away. Like so many
Well,
mixed
again-
emotions there.
Yeah, that's like the scene that like to me like it doesn't fit the moral of the story that the mom is saying. Like we just gotta accept like what we have now to be happy. Like, you know, we've had hard lives, like it's been tough, but like it doesn't matter about your past. Like we're gonna accept it and we're gonna go through it in the future. And like I don't know if the movie's just trying to say like the main character needed to hear that so she could like go on her own. But like I took it as like, oh, like they're essentially right, like gonna live this lie and say she's their daughter. And that's how I thought the movie was gonna end. But then she just like leaves in the middle of the night and like smiling. So like yeah, it's so muddled, I guess.
And then it almost seemed like she really didn't feel like any form of grief when her real mom died at the beginning, because she was not really reacting to it in a way that, obviously she's not like a normal person. She's damaged and probably depressed and all this other stuff. But like when her original mom passes away, like it's almost like it doesn't really affect her. And then like a week later, like boom, she's in another house, like with another family, trying to like fit in with them and trying to like make them accept her.
Well, what would have been better, I think, is if they actually like played up the relationship between her and her like actual mom.
Yeah,
and
they
then
didn't play
like
that at
that's
all.
why she wanted to be in this family, to like have a mom again. You know what I mean?
We got
Like,
more of a relationship between Nancy and her cat Paul than we did with her original mother.
Yeah,
It's true.
I'd agree with that.
and the original mother was always screaming at her, and like she like rubbed her arm one night, and then she like died the next night.
Yeah, that
so
was
it's like,
that was like the night before. Yeah, exactly.
so they didn't establish like a connection with the mom, because like that was one of my thoughts. I'm like, oh, maybe she's reaching out to a family and gonna pretend to be their kid because she just wants to be like have a mom again. But they don't do that. They don't go that route.
Yeah,
at
they don't
all.
go that route, which that just does make sense.
And then there's the whole Red House poem, which their house is a red house. I would love to know, like, if in the movie they show, which I don't think they do, like when she wrote that poem.
Yeah, and then she mentions the tree house too, which is another weird bit.
Yeah,
But she did see the outline of the treehouse. But the movie does like this weird camera movement and like super bright lights, and it's like an aha moment for the
Yeah, and
character.
they,
So you're
cue
like,
up
what?
the music too, and to a crescendo, and it's like, what?
Yeah, so it's like trying to like make you not know if she actually is. Like it's trying to make you think she is, but like it wouldn't all work. And then like in the end, obviously it's not. And then it just has a muddled ending, I guess, for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree as well.
Anything else, guys, want to add for this movie?
What do you got, Sky? Got anything?
I think that's pretty much about it. Should we give it our...
I mean, it's
Nice.
it's pretty short. It's about all you can really add is just all the holes, and yeah, I think we should just give it our ratings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 5 out of 10 for this one.
God damn it,
Damn
that's
it.
exactly what I had.
I was like, they're gonna probably give it a 5, and I was
This, honestly, depending on how I feel tomorrow, it might go up or down. It could stay the same too. 'Cause we're literally recording this podcast, what, like 5 minutes after we finished it?
Pretty shortly
Yeah.
after. I mean, it's definitely not like a horrible film, but these are the hardest films that I feel like we're going to review, are the ones that are like in the middle, because we're just going to be like, there's some good things in it, but like there's all these like stupid things, and like,
it has potential. It had potential. I mean, it's post-production, but
yeah, I would say like Ryan, I think you're right with like, it just like, it feels like if there's like 25 minutes more in this movie, like actually fleshing out some of these different things that the character's going through, like so the audience would be like more like on the journey with her of like, is it is she actually the kid of these people, is she not, like, or go with her like slowly convincing herself and like slowly convincing the audience, and then like it's not, like, you can't do that, I feel like, in an hour 25-minute movie when like, it probably takes like 25 minutes before she's even like in their house, like starting the whole process of DNA testing.
yeah, it just needed like more development and more, and then like a sense of closure. Really, this to add value to the plot, but
Oh, I have one more thing. What the John Leguizamo, like, what was the point of that whole part of the movie? Because to me that made her look shady. Like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that was the point.
I don't know. I think that kind of like goes a little bit with her thing too, where she said she went to North Korea.
She just
I feel like
lies.
she's just, yeah, I feel like she's just like desperate to like connect with people, and like she like goes to great lengths to like fake it to like just to like impress people and like talk to people. Like she faked going to North Korea, she faked being pregnant, and like this family, she faked being their daughter. Like I don't know, but like I don't know.
It doesn't fully fit in. Like, that's like an interesting idea, but like it doesn't.
I think that would definitely
It's so
be the
short.
strongest thing to latch onto. But then again, like it doesn't really flesh it out.
And then she deleted the blog.
She deleted the blog.
But then she leaves eventually, like that house. So it's
Yeah.
like
Why did she do all that?
I guess she's like gonna stop
She
living
leaves.
the lies.
Yeah, that's. I guess maybe.
Yeah, that would explain why she like deleted the blog. And
I'd like to change my rating.
yeah,
I'm keeping it for now, but
Yeah, no, I
it's-
mean I'm keeping it.
I'm
at
at
a
a 5 as well. Yeah, same as
Yeah.
you. I think we're all at a 5. So
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't like tell someone not to see it. It's definitely like got some like
yeah.
I will say like some creativity like effort is put into it. It's not like a mainstream just like blockbuster like I don't
Black
know
Panther,
what's
yeah.
the Dwayne the Rock Johnson the giant ape rampage or the
yeah,
tower
Rampage,
exploding
skyscraper.
skyscraper. Yeah, it's not.
Dwayne
It's not one of those premises. It actually has some like artistic value for sure.
Yeah. So I think what we're doing for tomorrow's podcast is our Valentine's Day movie, isn't it?
I believe you are correct.
And I think what we are going to go with is the Spike Jonze film Her.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
Do you own it,
I
Sky?
have.
I do own it.
You do own it? Cool. Because I own it. I finally own a movie that we all have.
Yeah, I own it.
I'm
But I
trying to
don't-
get that Blu-ray collection. I gotta get that going. I just gotta have money for it. Subscribe, people.
We need that money.
We need that dough.
I own it as well, but it is on Netflix.
Oh,
If you
Yeah.
Well, there
feel
you
like
go.
watching
It don't
a,
matter. Maybe we could do.
quality Valentine's Day film.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
I've
to be
only
honest,
seen it one time,
spirit
and I
of
loved it.
Valentine's Day. Yeah, I'm really excited to watch it again. I think it'll be my second
Same.
time.
I'm like really excited, and I know Sky hasn't seen it, so like I'm super excited for Sky to check it out. Sky, I think you're gonna
I mean-
connect with this. It's gonna be
dude,
great.
like Joaquin is like
Oh,
my man.
And he's
As you
really
know,
good
you were
in
never
it,
really
obviously.
here. Sisters Brothers, which you guys haven't seen yet, came out 2018 as well. I mean, oh
Yeah, we'll be doing a podcast on that in
Some
about a
point.
week or so.
yeah.
Yep, when it comes out on Hulu.
Exactly.
Can't wait for that.
So yeah, if you guys like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as leave a like and a comment. We would love to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and recommendations. To keep up with updates and other news regarding this podcast, follow our Twitter and like our Facebook page listed in the description below. You guys want to add anything else?
I'm good. Time for bed.
Yeah. Yep.
I agree with you guys there. See you tomorrow.